answer.
Sorry.
You know, I have access to things like data and stuff like that that can help people make the best decisions for them on our platform and how to market your property. So that is what I do. Any questions to start off with? Cool, that was easy.
I've already grilled him, so you need
You
to,
did.
you need to give him some softball questions.
Yeah. We can make this very casual because this is a great intimate setting. So anytime you have a question, just stop me, raise your hands. I'm not gonna, I know the last where you saw me in our Rent Responsibly Summit, it was pretty just very direct, monotonous.
Yes.
We'll probably went into a bit more detail there. Here we can just kind of just talk through things. It doesn't need to be very formal. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. We're gonna start off with trends, kind of what is expected for 2024 and how we expect travelers to book based on a lot of research that was done. 20,000 travelers were surveyed to get this information across 14 countries, and this is kind of what they came up with on why people are booking in 2024. This year, it's going to be on what's on the outside that matters. People are really, really into outside amenities, and how that will really affect where people are staying, and the type of things that your properties are offering. And let me just say this about Vegas. Vegas is a very different market probably than probably almost every other market is my guess. I know Vegas pretty well personally, so I know that pretty much everything revolves around the Strip, and there's a lot to do there. And so I know the hotels there probably dominate a lot of where people want to stay, and which makes things probably a little bit harder here. It's just a guess, unless you guys feel otherwise.
No.
Okay.
But it's a different market.
It is, it's very unique and there's
Yeah.
a lot here. I have people that never even go down to the Strip.
Really?
I'm sure my colleagues have the same. They never go down to the Strip because they're going to Mount Charleston, they're going to Red Rock hiking, they're going to Valley of Fire, they're going to Grand
So
Canyon,
you're-
Bryce and Zion.
You're getting very specific travelers then.
You
Um,
get a
my
lot of
guess.
people, would like to turn it on and turn it off. They like the dynamics of the Strip.
But like I
Like
said,
I'm over in Lake Las Vegas, we're 30 minutes away. They are not with the noise. So they've had the noise, they've had the action, and then they can retreat to somewhere quiet. So we get that as a lot of comments in our reviews, that they love the action and accessibility, but at the end of the day, they also want to relax too. So it kind of unique environment.
yeah, and that makes sense to me. I mean, I've definitely, but my grandparents lived here for a very long time. They lived out in Summerlin. I used to stay with them a lot. So I would go out to Red Rock. I would do those things. So I get that. There's definitely a lot to do here outside of the Strip. I know that. I just assume that, I guess most people come to Vegas for the Strip and what that has to offer. But yeah, 42% of people want to stay somewhere that has amenities they either can't afford or want to try. So if you have those types of things, for example, for me, I'm interested in having a pizza oven, but I don't want to just buy one. I would stay somewhere if they had a pizza oven. I think that would be awesome. I know that's something that's been trending lately. And 30% of people are choosing places where they wouldn't have to leave to enjoy everything around it. They just want a one-stop shop where they can hang it outside and there's a ton to do. So these are the type of things that people are looking for. In terms of relaxation and rejuvenation, people are looking for hot tubs, cold plunges, and barrel saunas. For sports and recreation, ping pong tables, pickleball courts, and lawn games. Things like cornhole or the large Jenga or.
Not too many lawn games in Las Vegas.
In the middle of the summer.
But there could be.
There
They're
could be.
right, you're right.
You just have to invest in it.
People just don't have, lawns.
Fire pits, also probably not huge here in the summer, but could be good for the winter. Because I don't think this place ever dies down, to be honest. And fresh produce, once again, probably not huge here. But people want to go somewhere where they can go out to the garden and pick some mint and use it in their iced tea, or I don't know, some vegetables. But that's been very popular and trending lately. So what can you do with this information? Update your listings to include photos of these types of things. Showcase your offerings by including, in your advertising content, in your header, anything like where you can just add it to it. In your header, say, ping pong. Say, use your header as much as you can. I know you're limited on space, but do it. Think of it this way, people, and in your top 5 photos. So when people are searching for properties, hundreds of things come up, right? You have seconds to get their attention. They just scroll, scroll, scroll. You want them to stop on you. So in your top 5 photos and your header, put in there what makes your property unique, what makes you different, what makes you stand out.
Does it help to change your header frequently? Or to keep it static?
Frequently, I'm not sure. I would say you probably know best when your highest booking time is for different times of the year, right? So now might be a higher booking season for your summer. So now, even though it's winter, you can advertise the warmer things that you have to offer. Like, one huge thing here is obviously, the Strip has pools. They're not private. Many of you might have private pools. So if you have a pool, maybe in your header, say private pool, because that would be very advantageous to a lot of people who want a pool but don't want 1,000 people around them.
Can I stop you there? I mean,
Of
when
course.
people are searching for a house.
Yeah.
and They're seeing the pictures. They know that the house they're getting is private.
Of course.
So I just think private pool, personally, private pool on your header is gonna take up some valuable space.
Do you think everyone is this smart?
Especially, especially here in Vegas. Like, again, we're unique, and I'll tell you, I would guess, and you might agree with me, everyone, it's probably 95% of short-term rentals have a pool here.
Let me ask you a question. How many short-term rentals, I don't know the answer, just asking, are in communities that have community pools? And they would just advertise themselves as having a pool.
According to AB 363, they're not allowed to
Well,
have them in HOA, common interest communities, unless they've been grandfathered.
But a lot of times when I look online, I understand your point. I do see a lot of places that'll have pools, and I'll look and I'm like, that pool is pretty big or something
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
And then I'll look on it and it's in a condo or something like that.
Right.
So the private might need to kick in.
you
Well, it
know,
depends on your market, yeah.
don't forget, that a lot of the places here, communities, don't, you guys know they're all
We've seen
private
it.
pools and not community pools. Other people don't.
Yeah, sure,
Good point.
I'm just going with the aspect that when somebody's searching on VRBO, they know they're looking for a home.
Of course.
And because they want a private home.
And I can tell you, I work with a lot of partners, a lot of people. I have a lot of clients that have community pools and they just say pool.
Yeah, it's a good tip.
Oh, wait. Okay. Next up, set jetting. People are very into what they see in movies and television. Wishful thinking. It's like, oh, that was awesome. I want to do that. I think Vegas, tell me if I'm wrong once again, might be a little different for this because so many things have been filmed here and a lot of people don't need an excuse to come to Vegas. But it's certainly a trend. I mean, obviously you've all seen The Hangover. I'm sure that brought a lot of business here in general, although it probably didn't need the marketing, but it was marketing for it. And a lot of other movies and TV shows do the same thing. And so people, 53% have researched or booked a trip to a destination after seeing it on TV show or movie. I can tell you that 3 weeks ago, I got back from Costa Rica. I went there and stayed at a hotel there because I happened to see it on a show. I saw it on the Apple show. It's with Eugene Levy. Anyone of you guys see it? He traveled to,
Some of my students wrote about it, yeah.
something, something traveler. Anyways, where he basically just, he hates to travel. They just sent him to different places to have experiences and he stayed in amazing places. I saw it, I watched it. I'm like, this hotel looks incredible. Literally, I think 3 weeks later, I booked it. So these things are true. I think one in four people say TV shows or films are more influential than they were before. And a lot of people are saying that they get more ideas from TV shows and movies than they do from places like TikTok and Instagram.
So I had a question.
Yes.
Just in a different kind of segue with that, is there a community of people that are attracted to homes that are themed between movies
Sure.
and things like that? And what experience, I guess, have you seen with that?
Mostly Disney,
Disney.
huge in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they crush it with the themes over there, whether it be Star
That's
Wars
you.
Yeah, there you are.
or, you know,
Yeah.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen.
I've seen Little Mermaid, I've seen, you know, every room be a different
Harry Potter, all
Disney
those,
theme.
yeah.
You know, Star Wars seems to be the biggest there in terms of themed houses. I mean, I've seen the whole house be themed Star Wars. We used to have a partner I worked with where every single thing in the house was it was, if you like Star Wars, it was incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there anything more for young girls?
I mean,
That was themed?
Frozen was huge.
Frozen?
Frozen is the big one, yeah.
I mean,
And as she pointed out, here in Vegas, people come for something different. They may come for a Tesla house, or the Raiders is really big here.
these stores are huge.
Or the Rat Pack. I've always wanted to do a Rat Pack one here. You have, you know, the old 70s, beautiful.
I would imagine that would do
60s,
very
yeah.
well here.
Yeah,
mean,
themes.
Nostalgia. You're also going for a very specific crowd there then.
Yes.
And I don't know, I mean, I could probably get that data. I don't know if I can, but in terms of you're limiting yourself with that one in terms of what ages you usually get for people who are renting your properties.
Well, if you look at the Las Vegas Convention Visitors Bureau statistics, less than 20% of the people come with children to Vegas. But short-term rentals are big for families with children because they don't want them in the strip.
Correct.
So you can benefit both ways by using the statistics.
Right.
You can look at it and interpret it.
You
different
don't need
ways.
multiple rooms. You get one property and have your kids there. So what can you do here? Put this type of stuff in your pictures. You know, right near so-and-so as seen on this show or movie. If it's really popular, people will love that. People love taking photos in front of something that was in a movie or TV show, like, hey, I was there. Add the photos from movies and say, just clarifying the caption from the show, like, you know, 5 minutes from here. Put it in.
How many photos are we getting now? Do you know? Off the top of your head? 30?
No, you can put more than 30 on there. I mean, I've seen 50s.
Okay.
I don't know if you can do more than 60, but I've seen 50 something I see 50 something all the time. I can tell you, you want to have at least 30 photos in every listing because when you hit to 30, you get a boost in visibility.
Ooh, a secret. Thank you. Yes.
And I got a lot of algorithm secrets.
Yes.
Like those.
Yes. Now, what do you think about having a place where people can take Instagram photos? Something staged and encouraging people to take a photo? Is it too cheesy or is it?
I'm not saying it's cheesy. People love that stuff. The question is what is the one that you have for that actually, well, not, it was, sure, but is it actually something, why do people want your setup for an Instagram photo? Why is yours popular? Why would yours, I mean, I'm sure you can create something that would be amazing. I mean, I've seen, there was this home I used to work with in Scottsdale, and they had this whole backyard set up for just hanging out. Probably, it was definitely for bachelorette parties, and they had the side of it was just done for a giant photo booth, and like neon signs behind it, like ready for bachelorette photos. The whole house was ready for that. I mean, there was one room just dedicated with a disco ball for a little nightclub for them to dance. My guess is they probably got a lot of Instagram photos there when they were they were creating marketing for themselves because people would tag their place. And
Reservation.
so it's certainly not a bad idea, but it has to be done right.
And according to code, yeah, we couldn't do that here, but we could. Yeah, we could do.
So, great. Next thing up, tour tourism. Everyone knows last year was enormous between Taylor Swift and Beyonce. They started this whole thing where people will pay a ton of money. People are always traveling for music and whatnot. Once again, this is a city where you always have concerts, and you always have big people playing. But those types of tours where people are paying a ton of money and are definitely traveling to see them, use this to your advantage. You can see when that tour is hitting your city. Raise your rates. Just be on top of it. Look, as soon as those big tours come out with their dates, go see when it is for your city. Because my guess is people are going to book it. So just make sure that you, and there are tools on our site to show these types of things. I don't know how many people are here, how many people here are on Verbo? Okay, have you guys seen the market maker tool? There's.
Yeah.
I figured you'd see it. Basically it's our pricing tool, and there's a few different things you can do with it. A lot of people don't necessarily know how to use it, but one of the things you can toggle on, there's a switch for searches, and it shows you the searches in your market and when they are coming, and it's like a little graph, and it goes up and down. If searches are up, the graph goes up; searches down, the graph goes down. When searches are up, you can make your prices higher, so you can go see if, you know, hey, how is this concert affecting my city? It's pretty fun, but you should, I mean, listen, Taylor Swift is coming here, raise your rates. It's affecting things.
It's called the markers maker,
Market maker.
market maker.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll get into that, but 40% of people are more likely to travel to watch a concert than this year. 70% more likely to travel to a concert outside of their own town. 44% would travel for a concert as an excuse to go to a new destination, and 30% would travel to a concert outside of their city because the tickets are cheaper elsewhere. I did it with Taylor Swift. It was great. She was awesome. I would not do it again. Tickets were expensive.
Been there, done that, huh?
I might do it again. It was pretty good. My wife wasn't able to enjoy it as much as me. She was like 9 months pregnant, but she went. So what can we do? Be on top of events in your area. Vegas doesn't have many events, so it should be easy. And I'm not going to go into that one. Keep your calendars open. This is a very, very good reason to keep your calendars open. A lot of people don't like to keep their calendars open very long. I think you should keep your calendars open at least 18 months in advance. I know that's hard for a lot of people. Set prices, you have to be on top of it. People will book further than you want them to, and you haven't set your prices yet. Well, that's on you. But just know that usually, I know maybe there are not many bookings over a year out. I get that. But when they do come in over a year out, usually there are a lot more value, because people who are booking further out tend to know what they want and are willing to pay to get it, because the more availability. You want to say something?
Well, no, I agree. My best bookers, I guess, that book long in advance are the Europeans and the Brits.
Yeah, they travel further, and they're also less likely to cancel their tickets.
And it's generally a year out,
More valuable, and
and they pay top dollar.
and location. I mean, they can pick what they want further out. More availability, and they're willing to pay for it.
So Mike, do you increase your prices that far out, or you just use the same pricing?
Prices are higher when I'm setting my rates, a year in advance, sure, it's top dollar, and people, they'll either instant book or they'll send an inquiry, and a lot of those euros and Brits have turned into my repeats. So
Right.
They just.
I think it's a double-edged sword though, because sometimes people, and from my own experience, will book things way out while they keep their options open and they're not sure they want to do it yet.
6 months later, they're
And
canceling.
then they're canceling, which takes the property off for the people who might have been more serious
Yep.
in a shorter time frame. So
I'll get to
it
that.
kind of work both ways, I think, with regard to that.
Yes, but I will.
I
I
also,
promise to touch base on that. one.
yeah, I also make sure my cancellation policies are more strict as well. I don't usually leave it to be very flexible because I don't want them to just book and then cancel whenever they want to.
I talk a lot about that. That's my specialty.
What we do too is
I always
we
do
increase
shit.
our rate
Good.
and then we put in a discount for longer stay during that time. You know, like a 10-day or a 2-week during that time. If people are coming for that length of time, usually they're serious about it and they want to do it. So that's our way of giving them a little incentive to book by putting that early booking discount for 2 weeks or 10 days. And that has worked.
You're making
in
me
some
wanna
of
put
our
my chapstick
Northwest.
on.
It's the desert, you're in the desert.
No, this is, I was just in Tahoe and my lips just
Oh.
cracked. Yeah, I promise we will dive into that whole topic. We'll jump into that. That, like I said, that's my favorite topic.
Cancellations, boy.
Oh, I love it. Let's
I
talk.
can't wait to hear.
Evil.
But the point of this was events like this, they know their dates further in advance. So if you want them to book your property because they're gonna book their tickets over a year out sometimes for these types of big concerts. So if you want them to book with you and spend more money, keep calendars open. All right, locations. People are looking for any excuse to travel, from puppy moons to first date anniversaries. Doesn't matter. You know, someone got a new haircut, they want to go on a trip. They gotta show it off. Listen, it's just one of those things where people just want to travel more, they need an excuse to do it. 1/3 plan to take more trips in 2024, and 1 in 4 are looking for any excuse to get away with their loved ones. Vegas is probably the best place for that. I know my wife here about. Take action. Encourage your guests to leave reviews, sharing anecdotes of your property. How did your property, encourage them to say things like, how did your property enhance their experience where they came to travel? What made your property, make everything that much better? And I'm not gonna get into these other things yet. This is talking about cancellation policy. Sustainability, huge thing, big trend, everyone talks about it. I'm gonna start off by saying, everyone talks about it, people love it, a lot of people are on the other side of it. I get it, so a lot of people do not care about sustainability. That's fine if you don't care, but you're running a business. And so if you're running a business, you want people who do care to come stay with you.
Yeah, so what's your take on people that have solar on their homes? Are you seeing? That's
Next
it?
slide.
Next slide. Sorry, didn't mean to jump the gun.
No, I don't really have too much info on it, but that is on my next slide. 90% of travelers are looking for more sustainable options to travel. And 50% are willing to pay more for sustainable travel options. What do they mean by that?
Really?
Yeah, nutty, isn't it? I agree with you.
It's on the market.
I probably would not pay more for it, but 50% supposedly would. Make your place eco-friendly, instead of offering, if you have solar panels, show it in your photos. People love that. You probably get a lot of people here from places like California. They love it. Sell them on it. Instead of offering, throwaway toiletry like shampoo and one-use items, do reusable stuff that you can just refill. Have recycling protocols. Install energy efficient light fixtures and appliances. It's all pretty basic stuff. Not basic, but might be basic. But if you can do more of this, people are enjoying it. So try to offer it, because a lot of it, it's not like you have to pay a lot for it. And it could bring in more revenue, so it might be worth it. Every little bit helps. Solar panels, I don't have data to support one way or the other. But there are people who are driven towards it, if you will. And when they're driven there, they're driven in an eco-friendly culture.
Well, it's a booming market, especially here right now.
Oh yeah, it's huge. There's a lot of sun here.
And I know with your realtors, I'm sure it's a huge bonus to buyers that a home that has solar panels.
Not really.
If they're put in right.
No,
Yeah,
I
not
thought
If they're,
really.
if they're
It depends.
pigeonholes, then no, they don't like it.
if they're
If
They wanna
they're set
take
up a
on their
little bit,
own
they're
solar
pigeonholed,
panels.
They don't like that, but if they're done correctly, it can be good.
And it also depends if they're leased or if they're owned as
Right.
well, you know, just
Mm,
based
yeah.
on terms and stuff like that, you know, if you're trying to take over. An agreement.
And what does it do with your roof in time?
Your
Will
roof,
it damage your roof?
it shouldn't damage
No.
your
Yeah, it
roof,
should be.
No.
yeah. If
Not
you
at all.
maintain
It's
it properly.
been wrong in the wind, but that's good. Well, there, yeah, and we have a property, two properties side by side up in Birkenstock country, you know, Ganola area, the Pacific Northwest. We get at least 40% more for our no GMO bamboo, gluten-free house,
Yeah,
because that is the market that wants to go there.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And they are willing to pay for it.
Mhm.
So if people are willing to pay for things like that, sell them on it. Why not? It doesn't cost you much.
The market.
I want to share my experience with the solar panel. I have a big house, 3,300 square footage. Two family room, one dining room, four dining room, one game room, and 5 bedroom. For each summer, I'm just crazy. The electric bill, $700 easily. About 3 years ago. After I installed the solar panel, I paid the payment $180. And I pay electric bill $50. There's a big saving there. And also to add value to the property,
Good,
eco-friendly,
thanks for sharing.
people love it,
Mhm.
they look nice. All advantages, and one good thing right now is 0 down payment. Do not pay that down,
Yeah, but they tack that on if you're.
but you have, no,
Oh,
you
that
have,
gets ugly.
you have 30% tax credit on spot.
Yeah,
Let's say
have
my
to call
system,
you.
my system worth 40,000 and 30%, 30% tax credit, I pay only 28,000 instead of the full amount.
That's great,
Nothing to lose. I think it's a good thing to do.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
yeah, especially with a lot of square works like that.
It work, yeah. And you know, I have the Airbnb, right? People come in, turn on 60 degree and go to a strip and come back. My God, my power bill, $1,200.
That's where smart thermostats are.
Yeah.
Good change.
I say, hey, you cannot turn on the AC when you're not there, right?
Yep.
Oh, now I'm worried for you.
Good, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
nice.
because you don't have to
Go
worry
for
about
it.
that.
You
That's
come in,
great.
you enjoy a cool, right?
We do
People
have
happy.
sunshine, yeah.
Yeah, and then my booking. That's a good thing, nothing to lose. That I want to share with you guys.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Oh, of course. So key takeaways from this whole section, outdoor amenities make a big difference. Travelers are interested in sustainable options, and keep your calendars open. That is different from what's here. I'm changing it. Keep your calendars open. There. All right. This section is probably way more useful for those who are on Verbo, because this is about how you can use our platform better. It is about a lot of things that involve the algorithm. It is about how you can market your property and things you might not be aware of how they factor in and work together. You might know, who knows? But these are the different metrics that really matter. Visibility. You gotta show up to get booked. Step one. If you don't show up, you can't get booked. It also matters where you show up. Conversion rate. That is the percentage of time, the percentage that once people land on your page, they follow through with a booking. That is huge, because that is basically the higher your conversion rate, the higher you're gonna be in rankings. Because it's, you know, if you're really good at getting people to book your property, then we're gonna move it up higher because it's better for business for both of us. Acceptance rate. How often are you accepting your bookings? And cancellations. And yes, these are specifically in regards to you canceling, not in regards to travelers canceling on you. We call it honored bookings. So this is I wasn't gonna show the slide, but this is basically compares how long it takes vacation rental bookers to plan the trip compared to hotels. But basically, summary of this, keep your calendars open as long as possible. All right, visibility, you gotta show up to get booked. Amenities. People, this is all about filters. People use filters all the time when they search. I don't care how small the amenity is. If you have toilet paper, check it off. Because you never know what can help you in the algorithm. You never know what people are gonna use as an amenity. Check it off. Price. Price is, in terms of searches, is about people are setting their max price all the time when they're searching for property, right? They're gonna say, okay, I don't wanna spend more than 400, 500. But they're usually gonna do it on the 100 mark or on the 50. So do not price your property at 405 a night because you just want to get $5 or $6 more. Think about how many more searches you're gonna appear in if you're at 399 or 400 because people are setting their max price at 400. You'd rather appear in more searches and get more bookings that way than get $5 more on the bookings that you are getting the other way. Minimum night stay. If someone is looking for 4 nights and your minimum night stay is 5, you're out. Probably not worth it. I think just because we're talking about it, give you some data. In Vegas, just out of curiosity, for the people who are on, well, actually for all of you, because I mean, I don't know Airbnb's data, but what are your minimum night stays?
4. But we'll do 3.
When?
Let's see, like 2. Yeah,
We'll
2
do
is the
3 when
regulatory
they
minimum.
squeeze in between other guests.
Yeah, most people default to 4.
All right, in Vegas, 19% of stays are 2 days. 31.5 are 3 days. And 20 are 4 days. So if you're a 4-night minimum stay, you're missing out on just over 50% of bookings. Actually, for 1-night stays is 5%, but I don't encourage 1-night stays, especially in the city. But that's huge. You're missing out on over 50% of searches just because of that. So
You know
And
what
this
a
is
3-night
STR
stay
statistics.
does to a weekend?
Yeah.
You know, that's brutal, you know?
I understand.
But now this is STR, this is Verbo statistics, not Expedia overall
Correct.
with hotels.
This is Verbo.
Yeah, because the hotel average stay is under 2 days. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is just Verbo. There we go.
How dare you?
I do dare. All right, so. One of the most popular filters on our site is called free cancellation filter. We know what that means. That means at some point, from the time they are booking to the time they are staying, you have to have some form of free cancellation to show up. Or not some form, you have to have free cancellation to show up. So. Let's talk lead time. In Vegas, 6% of bookings are 0 to 2 days out. 8% of bookings are 3 to 7 days out. 8% of bookings are 1 to 2 weeks out. 14% of bookings are 2 to 4 weeks out. 22.5% are 1 to 2 months. So what? That alone is 22.5.
You could have went. You could have went. Yeah. I can't. Yeah.
Very curious what that's gonna say next. 60% of bookings are less than 2 months out.
Sorry, what was the 14% again?
2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gotta talk fast. 60% of bookings are less than 2 months out.
60 days.
So if someone is using that filter, which a lot of people are, you don't show up. It's a lot of searches to miss out on. That's step one, cancellation policy. Step two. Okay. In Las Vegas, what are your cancellation policies? Strict,
Strict.
60 days? Strict,
Sure.
strict, okay. 6.7% of bookings are no refund. 10.5 strict. 11.6 firm. 26.5% moderate. And 38.5% are relaxed. So once again, a little over 60% are between moderate and relaxed. Huge. Bring this up.
What does that compare to the, you getting cancellations and
About to show you.
losing them?
Good question. I promise I'm getting there. Okay, Las Vegas. Blue is listings. Orange is bookings. That is about, on average, how many bookings are being generated per listing. Okay? Orange is bookings still. Blue is cancellation under each policy. It does not matter what policy you are under. You are getting canceled on almost the exact same amount. So if you're going to get canceled on the same, you might as well be under the policy that's getting more bookings. Yes, if you have a more relaxed policy, there's more risk for more bookings and you probably will get, more cancellations. You will probably get more cancellations. No question. But as long as your increase in bookings outweighs your increase in cancellations, who cares? Because you're making more money. No, I'm not saying you're not going to get canceled on more. I'm just saying the likelihood of you getting more bookings and not much of an increase in cancellations is pretty high.
Cancellations really increased after COVID.
Okay.
COVID is a whole different story.
This
We'll
is the
isolate that,
last 12 months.
But I've noticed cancellations are
Changed, yeah.
same for you, yeah.
Yeah, but once again, this is the last 12 months. So COVID is
And that's assuming your prices remain the same.
sure. Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, just, I'm not taking into account prices, but my guess is your prices last year are not going to go up much this year, especially since I'm almost pretty sure the market's not going up right now. People are not spending more right now. So my guess is your prices are not going to go up a ton. And if they are, maybe they shouldn't be, but that's up to you. I understand fear with getting canceled on. This is not first of all, let's also back up. What happened between 2020 and 2022 is an anomaly. Things were amazing for you. You could set your prices whatever you wanted. You could set your policies whatever you wanted, and people were going to come stay with you because they didn't have any other options. It is very different right now. During that time, so many people went out and bought vacation rentals or properties and listed them as vacation rentals. And so you have a lot more internal competition with vacation rentals. And since then, everything else has opened up, whether it be hotels or international, you have competition both inside and outside of vacation rentals. So people, and the market is down. So people can be a lot more picky. And I think the Expedia report came out, and number one consideration for travelers is price. Number two is a more relaxed cancellation policy. Yes, you can do what you want. But all the data suggests, and they talk about it all the time, the more relaxed your policy is, the more bookings you're gonna get. We only do well if you do well. We are not suggesting things that are only gonna help us. Doesn't make sense. And listen, might not work for you. Okay, fine. But you won't know until you try. This entire game is trial and error. Every property is unique, 100%. You will not know what works better for you until you try different things. My suggestion is, sure, you are booking right now for your high season, or if you get a point where you have a lot of bookings and you just have some things to fill up, switch it, or even before I say switch it, but every booking you have now is tied under the policy they booked under. So those are safe. Try switching it, see what happens. Give yourself a trial period of 4, 5, 6 months, I don't know. But could see a change. This says you will. Any questions on cancellation policy? From the people who were strict?
What was the percentage of people who, book under 30 days? Because, I mean, that makes a difference, because if you get the cancellations in 30 days, how many people are booking in that time frame, so that you're gonna fill the unit up that's been canceled?
Well, under 30 days.
Wasn't that the 14%?
No, that was just one of them.
Or was that
2 to 4 weeks,
20%,
2 to 4 weeks,
22%, something like that?
14% was 2 to 4 weeks, good memory. 4 to 8, 16, 30, about 36% is under a month. Over a third. You throw in the next 30 days, you're over half. So, and maybe don't go from strict to relaxed. Maybe you go to moderate, which is 30 days,
But there's no one waiting.
and then you're adding in
She
1
lost
to 2 months,
connection.
which is 22.5% more.
Okay. Tell him to try to log in again.
And by the way, if your calendars aren't, how many of your calendars are full?
For how long?
For most of my
Let's insert
properties,
phone.
they're
I-
almost full.
What percentage are you at right now? Occupancy.
I don't know, it's high. It's high.
Okay, she's in. She's good. Thank you.
Well, then you don't have a lot to risk. Because they're tied to the policy they booked under.
No, but it's the more frustration than fear for me. Because of the time that I've spent dealing with that guest and sending them documents and
Okay.
to have them cancel. And not get even $100 fee or anything like that, or $50, whatever. What we used to be able to do, it's frustrating.
You get it? You can still charge a fee,
How?
pay for outside software, integrate. And then you create your own custom cancellation policy that includes a fee. But you got a fee, you'll never appear in the filter. Less bookings. Goes both ways.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And then you're also
Things
paying for your
change.
software.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right.
Some of us are still old school.
No, old school has
Well,
to-
most of you probably don't need software. That's
We
when you,
have to learn to pivot.
you want to have software once you have a lot more property. So most of you probably don't need it. I don't know for sure. But usually it's like property management companies and whatnot that use that. All right, cover minimum night stay, cover cancellation policy, discounts. How many here would take a week or a month long booking if you could get it? Anyone?
Depends on the property, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. People who are looking to stay for a week or a month are using the filters for weekly, monthly discounts because they want some kind of break. So if you are not offering weekly and monthly discounts, you should. And my guess is many of you would rather get a 7-night stay at 10% off than a 4-night stay at full price, leaving 3 days open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put in your discounts. It's under calendar, fees, monthly, weekly discounts. I can tell you a lot of people come to this city. I mean, I just know this to play poker for extended periods of time, and they want to stay for months. they are using the filter. A lot of people. Um,
Are there any particular percentages you suggest to stay in between, whether it's 2%, 5, 10?
No.
Depends on your pricing.
yeah, it'll tell you what it comes out to. It'll do math for you. I don't have it. I don't have any data to show what percentages work better than others. I can tell you that they internally say at least 10% will
Well, I
help
use
make
it
the difference.
10%.
Use 10?
Yeah, that seems to satisfy customers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
That's where
for
I
your
don't
house, I
listen-
use at least, I use 15% for the monthly.
For the month, yeah. And I look at the pricing suggestions and, anybody who's still listening, I don't go on the pricing suggestions, I go a little higher, then I add the percent for the longer stays for that market. Because it does even out for me. I rarely go with the pricing model prices, but that's because our property is not a typical property, yeah, so.
Yeah, so go both on weekly and monthly, worth it. Instant booking. Anybody here not on instant booking? Not on instant booking.
Oh, I am on all.
Everyone's on it?
Not on, yeah.
Probably don't need to stress it then?
No.
Okay, we'll move on. Conversion, just talked about all this stuff. I'm probably going way over on time, sorry. Just realized that, like I said, I explained what conversion is.
How's everybody? You good?
This is great
Interesting.
information.
You good?
Okay.
No rush.
Talk about what impacts these are the things that impact conversion. Why are people landing on your page and not following through with a booking? These are usually the things that would cause that. Like I said, be competitive with price. I didn't say that, but be competitive. I'm not saying to lower your rates, just be competitive. I can tell you one thing that helps the price, a little tip. The more your average nightly rate changes, so the more the rate changes from night to night, the higher you can appear in searches. The way our algorithm reads dynamic pricing, you move up when your nightly rate changes more often. There's an easy way to do that on a large scale. Highlight, let's say June, go to your calendar, go to the year view, highlight your summer is what, June to end of September, whatever it is. Hit the right side of calendar pops up, rates and discounts, turn on customized by night of the week. Put in different rate for each night. Easy. You just covered 4
Well, that's
months.
good to know. I've been doing that for a long time.
That's good to know.
Make your weekdays lower, make your weekends higher. It's gonna encourage, someone, if you have, 200 and not, or I'm just throwing out random prices, but if you have 300 and 300 a night for Friday, 349 for Saturday, make Sunday, 220 or 200, whatever it is. Monday, even lower, who knows? You might encourage longer stays too, that you wouldn't normally have gotten, because people might be like, oh, look, so much cheaper, let's add on a couple nights.
We also get I get local travelers that way too, is where they want to visit family and, Tuesday through Thursday, or, 3 nights in the week. It's so much cheaper when most of the business is being done with the people who are coming for events, weekends and all that stuff. So I think it draws a different traveler. Like we've got people right now that we visit grandparents, and they do the Monday through Thursday and whatnot, and keeping those rates lower where the outside travelers may not have booked it because they're coming for an event, they're coming for football, they're coming for a concert. So it's kind of definitely keeping the midweek rates lower does, at least in my experience, has attracted a different
100%.
traveler that is more localized, that, oh, this is perfect.
They also don't want to spend as much, and you're probably more empty on those dates anyway. Might as well
Right,
take.
exactly.
Yep. We talked about cancellation policy, fees. Fees are a blocker. People don't like to get to the end and say, oh, no, fee I didn't expect. I'm not saying you can't have fees. I get it. Lower your fees as much as you can. Don't try to make them on the cleaning fee, because you can, but do you. One thing you could do is bake your fees into your nightly rate. And you can put in your header, no fees. You might get a lot more people. Could help. Instant booking, we don't need to go into, but huge impact on conversion.
Well, how do the fees play into the algorithms? Because if you have lower nightly rates, it's gonna be more favorable in the algorithms, is it not? Or the fees,
Yes and no, but I'll give you this tidbit. Keep your, I want to say this correctly, keep your fees less than 15% for the algorithm. Then the total cost to rent your home for its minimum night, including taxes and fees. That will help you.
The taxes right there is 13% in Henderson, so then that means you have no room for a cleaning fee. If you go
That's
off
a
of what
fee.
you said.
That doesn't include taxes though with the fees, does it?
No, I'm saying your total fees.
The fees like housekeeping.
Oh, okay, he said taxes and fees, so I thought that was.
I'm saying your total, your, let's say your cleaning fee is $200. The $200 needs, just for the algorithm purposes, to appear a little bit higher, needs to be less than 15% of the total cost to rent your property for, let's say you have a 3-night minimum, for 3 nights, and that total cost includes your taxes and fees that you've already, so includes that $200 fee plus your taxes plus your nightly rate. So 200 divided by that total, whatever that is, less than 15% will help you.
Good tip.
Yeah, figure out why somebody, just go on your website as a traveler, go on your site, figure out, hey, why is somebody landing on my page and wouldn't follow through the booking? If there's a reason that you can think of as traveler that you wouldn't like, try to remove it. Also, I just thought of this, but how many of you constantly go on your own page, click on your listing page to see it? Anyone? Okay, just so you know, you're hurting your conversion rate because you are going on your listing page and not following through the booking.
Oh, that's for booking. What about revisions? Does that count? If you're going in and tweaking it?
No, that's different. You're on your owner.
Oh, the back end.
I'm saying we go to verbo.com and see it. That's, yeah. All right, acceptance rate. I'm just gonna talk about this, start with this instead of going the other way. Premier host metrics are changing. To be a premier host, the only 3 that are changing are acceptance rate. Used to be 90% or greater. Now you have to be 95% or greater. Most of you you're all in this booking, so you're good. Number 2, cancellations used to be at 5% or less. 1% or less cancellations. Feel like you're gonna light on fire.
Remember I told you it's a bittersweet relationship with you guys.
so the traveler's cancellation rate? You have to-
So it's your canceling. a
You
reservation.
canceling on the travel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We are trying to create a better traveler experience. How many of you have gone to a hotel and the hotel's canceled on you? Probably nobody. We want to create a similar experience. People don't like to plan trips and book tickets and this and that, and all of a sudden get canceled on by the other person. Not a good travel experience. We won't have as many travelers coming to our site for you if we have something like that.
The big deal now is we wanna know who's coming.
That's
We
it.
wanna know who's coming into our house. We're not just gonna accept a blind booking and expect Joe Blow to show up with 12 of his friends.
Yeah,
me-
you're on instant booking.
Right, however, we still, once they book, we have their contact information, which is a bonus. So we immediately send them a thank you for booking. By the way, I'm gonna send you our rental agreement, and I need you to send it back within 7 days. For example, I had a booking Friday before the holiday. Nice lady, Crystal, whatever her name was. Responded, blah, 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 and I even responded to a personal email. I had to call her today. What's today? Wednesday. 5 days later, she never responded to me. I need people, we need people to respond to us immediately. And if somebody is gonna respond, does not respond, failure, phone call, whatever, you can't reach them, well, we need to cancel that booking. We
So
give them.
tell me some of the reasons you would need to cancel on someone. So they don't sign your agreement within what, how long?
7 days.
Okay, what else?
No, non-communication.
Okay.
So we expect them to communicate with us. We want them to communicate with us. It just makes a better experience for us and for the traveler as well.
What are your custom house rules? Custom house rules. Do you have any?
What are your house rules?
There are many. I mean, I have a rental agreement that's 3 pages long.
Well, first of all, just so you know, Virgo does not enforce any outside rental agreements. We only enforce our house rules. So I'm asking you, what are your house rules on the Virgo dashboard? There's a rules and policy section.
I,
mean, you
I,
can create-
honestly, I can't remember. I'm not sure.
You want me to pull it up for you?
Sure.
So well, I'll just give you the headliner. There is a section on our site that says house, you go to, rules and policies and house rules.
You
Okay?
know, okay,
That's for the
okay,
pets
it's coming
that-
back to me.
And then there's, at the bottom of that section, there's a spot for custom house rules. You get to create up to three of your own house rules. Anytime someone goes against your house rules, you have the ability to cancel on them, but no ding to you. It's called house rules failure.
Okay.
So, one house rule, failure to have a returned signed rental agreement will result in cancellation of your booking. Number two, failure to communicate, respond to me after your booking within 7 days will result in
After the allotted
cancel
time,
booking.
sure.
There you go.
I know I've got rules now. I can remember seeing that page. I can't remember what I've got in there, but I'm sure it's the agreement. And it's even in my listing. I say, I have a rental agreement that must be signed and returned.
Put it in your
Yeah,
custom
it's
house
fine.
rules. That is enforceable with us.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tip.
There are ways that we have the ability to waive cancellations. Actually, new change this year. Account managers used to be the ones who do that. We just lost our ability to waive cancellations. That is now customer support. But house rules failure is still there. So natural disaster, property damage, things like that, you're not gonna get dinged for that. That is out of your control. You have a pipe burst, that's not on you. So house rules, there's a reason we put custom house rules in there, so you get to create your own, like the ones you just created.
Well, I'll dig in that.
With the cancellation, just had a recent experience where someone did an inquiry, they didn't instant book. They were tire kicking, looking for a discount, or this and that. So we revised the quote because it was shorter notice to try to reel the traveler in. And then they get the 3-day window to respond. And after like the 3rd day, they come back again. It's like, well, now we want to change it to like maybe another day. So you give them a revised quote and that resets that clock again for another 72 hours. So now it's getting like closer to when like the time frame was. So, and there was no response from the person. So then when I went into see if you could cancel that block, it was going to hit you with a cancellation penalty for the reservation is what showed up. Are you sure you want to cancel? Because you're going to be charged X amount percentage of the booking, even though they never booked it. And it was like, they're just tire kicking, for a week now. I just want to get the thing back on
Did
the
you ask them to
market.
cancel?
What's that?
Did you ask them to cancel?
They just never responded. We asked, do you want to, fulfill it or not?
That's when you call customer support and say this person's.
But I mean, I just thought that was kind of that's
It's not a perfect system.
No, I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna get charged. I can't get this person, I can't cancel this block. If they want to book it, it's a booking, fine. I've already I've given you 2 bites at the apple. I've wasted a week's time. It's been off the market because someone else can't book it now. And if I go to take any type of action to cancel that, which wasn't a reservation, I was gonna get dinged, whatever the percentages were based on that. I had a real problem with that. I thought that was.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I would say in that situation, call customer support. And
I
let
mean, do
them,
they have that flexibility?
customer support should have the ability to get that removed for you, like have them just have the.
Okay,
Yeah.
and not to go on too many tangents, but there was another where I did contact customer support on a matter where someone wanted to change, they wanted to change their reservation to less time. So they were saying they were doing
Yeah.
6 days, we want to do 4 instead because whatever. And when I was trying to figure out how to refund them, I
Mhm.
was told, well, we're not going to refund Verbo, the customer service. We don't refund the lodging tax. You'll have to refund that. It's like, but I never collected it.
At that point, I can tell, when you're trying to edit quotes, from what I've gathered and learned, it is so much easier just to have them cancel the reservation and rebook it under the new dates. Don't deal
And
with editing quotes.
And that's what we've had to do. But I mean, I just thought it was kind of, my response was, you collected the taxes
I understand.
and I never collected them. And and the customer service agent was like, well, we've already paid them, which I don't know how the process works and I didn't argue about it. But it was like, if I didn't collect something, you're telling me in fairness to the traveler who's canceling, I'm gonna honor their request as a good host to revise
Yeah.
the stay lower, but at my expense for the lodging taxes? Or tell them, yeah, well, you have to call Verbo and you can argue with them, because we never collected them. And that to me creates a poor travel experience for both ends,
Mhm.
both for Verbo as well as myself.
Yeah,
And tell me if this is okay, but when we hit a brick wall like that, I feel like they don't have the power to do what I need to do. I asked them to create a case and send it and escalate it. And usually that just goes right into escalation. I'm dealing with somebody at a higher level where they can do something. They give you a case number and. Is that right?
It's not necessarily a higher level, it could be higher
A
level.
different level.
But basically what it does is an escalation will usually go not to another customer support person, but to the actual team that is developing and dealing with like that part of the platform. So that's more of what it is, and they actually have the ability to do more.
Yeah.
So but when it specifically comes to editing quotes, because someone wants to change something, just have them cancel it and redo it. From everything I've gathered, it is so much easier.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's what we've had to do in the past, but of course, then
it's
there's the time frame because another traveler's like, when am I getting my refund? I haven't received it yet. It's been, what I mean? It just creates anxiety in the
100%.
transaction. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah,
People, if you're gonna get refunded, they're expecting like, okay, I'll show up my credit card, I'll go online and I'll look tomorrow and it'll be there. It's like, well, no, that process takes more time and then they're getting back to you. It's like, what happened to the refund?
it's a pain.
It's painful at times.
It is.
I got the perfect scenario, but he needs to close his ears, so.
Well, I mean,
We've got it.
collection.
She's got more presentation to do here. So
It's okay. We're actually at the end. I was gonna talk about owner cancellations. We just went through that. And that was literally it. I already talked about change. I just did things out of order a little bit. We talked about the change in criteria for Premier Host. And these are just the takeaways. Can't get booked if you don't show up, remove blockers conversion, keep your count, or just keep it, and then, accept and honor your bookings. That's the whole thing, but.
As far as small kind of SEO helpful items, are there certain areas on the owner's profile page for that particular unit to, like, sometimes they say if you have pictures, you should write something in every picture description or a minimum amount of words or using certain keywords overall.
I don't think within the Verbo platform, I've never heard of any keywords in the captions or in your header help you move up and down. That's, the algorithm is more based on they don't actually tell us what exactly goes in the algorithm. We know some things, we don't know everything, we certainly don't know how things are weighted. I know conversion weights weighted more heavier than other things. I know it goes into it, I know a few other things. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of words impacting where you show up. I've never heard of even having captions on the photos, whether or not that improves. Never heard of that one time. So.
Are there anything similar in that lane, whether it's clicking on certain amenities or how many amenities or?
So, the more you click on, the more products and tools you're using on our site, the better you're going to appear. I do know that from what, do not quote me on this, from what I have gathered, there are 6 amenities that are more heavily weighted. Those are outdoor grill.
Got
No,
that right.
you got it.
Okay, we have that. right. We got 2 of those. With the extra propane tank.
I don't.
Um, Towels provided. Heating. Children welcome.
It's a weird tab that's there that you just have to.
My
click.
parents actually went to some place and expected it to be heated and it was not.
A lot of
Heating
places,
system.
more than you think or not.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Children welcome. Health provided heating, children welcome.
Really? Not really.
Child lover.
Anything with children items as far
And
as
outdoor
high
activities.
chairs,
It's very-
So,
plays.
I have my own personal opinion on that. I don't have data to support it. Non-smoking only and parking are the only, the other two. In regards to children, listen. If you got a multi-bedroom home that's for families and whatnot, you're geared toward people.
No, I was
You're
joking.
geared towards what?
I was joking.
I didn't hear what you.
Children
joking.
welcome. I said, really? It's a joke.
Yeah,
Different markets, yeah.
you know. Listen, I got 2 little kids, okay? If I'm gonna go stay somewhere, I'm not traveling with a giant pack and play. That's a big thing that I need, either a crib or a pack and play that I need to have where I go. I'm searching for it,
Mhm.
right? I'm not staying at a hotel or a vacation rental that doesn't have it.
Right.
You know, would a high chair be nice? 100%. Do I need it? No. Am I more inclined to stay somewhere that has it? Yes. Big
And
item,
if you
like-
see a photo of it, it triggers them, oh, they're kid friendly.
Yeah, for sure. Those 2 things are bigger, you know. Do I ever care about if a place is childproof? No, my own house is not childproof. You know, but those 2 things, for me, yeah. I especially the pack and play, definitely can't live without that.
Yeah, that's big.
Usually
I
have 2.
get requests for that, I don't know, a couple times
Yeah.
a year.
That's a one-time investment, hopefully, that you can store in a closet in your garage, that goes out of the way, that you can click as an amenity, where
They're
people,
pretty
family.
cheap.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap, yeah.
You can
And
get the.
there's
you
a
can get the-
company,
Yeah,
there's a company called Baby Quick
Yeah.
too, that you can use to bring in the equipment for you too, which is pretty good.
such an easy thing to attract more families.
Mhm.
You know, once you get, I mean, if you, I don't know how many bedrooms are in your property. But you know, if you're at 4 bedrooms, you could easily get 2 families in there, both with kids, right?
Right.
You can probably get 2 pack and plays for $200 or whatever it is, and keep them on your property, click it. You might get a lot more hits than you didn't have before. Maybe not a lot more, but I mean, let's say you get 2 or 3 more a year,
Mhm.
right? For a one-time investment, probably worth it.
Right.
What'd you say about parking?
Have it.
Oh, have it.
Yeah.
And tell people you have it.
Okay.
Have it checked. Not sure if you ever noticed, but like on a lot of our amenities, there's like secondary boxes that say, you know, give a little more detail. Always fill that out.
Give more detail, Aaron.
Yeah, because that will help you for multiple, like, for example, children welcome. Below it says ages 0 through 2, 3 to. I forget what the second one is. The last one's something to 17. There's like 3 options, different ages of children. Fill out the secondary options, because if you don't, you might not appear in the filters. Pets, same thing. How many people here allow pets? 1,
Some
2,
places.
3, some places. Okay. Listen, if I had my own property that I was renting out, I don't know if I would allow pets. Love dogs, have one, always have. Would I do it? I'm not sure, but I can tell you, huge difference in numbers. You are pulling in a lot more revenue, most likely, can't guarantee it, than damage that is occurring due to pets. I think
It's the cleaning and then the follow on. It's the people afterward that get allergic to it.
Yep.
understood, charge your pet fee.
But yeah.
People don't have to pay it, they don't want to. But
fee it doesn't include, I mean, it doesn't omit the allergies that the people coming in behind have.
Yeah,
fine, but they,
you know?
well, that's true,
You-
but
if
unless you are doing the market that doesn't care.
but let me also say this, if you are a pet friendly property, one, you're charging more.
Right.
Two, people who are booking your property that don't want pets, know you're pet friendly. That is their choice to come and stay there, and then you can, if they want a refund, they knew. That's on them, if they choosing to stay with you, but if you are getting more revenue, at the end of the day, why do you care? That's on them, if they are choosing to stay in a pet friendly property when they don't want to stay.
Affects your
That's
reviews, that's the
So-
problem.
I have a question.
Fair, but once again, if, well,
But
reviews
what
are a
if
whole nother-
somebody looking for property with, who has allergy on the dogs and they want to know pets? There is two category of people.
100%. Listen, once
Somebody
again,
want a pet, somebody not.
once again, I get that, and
How you can be in the middle? Give us advice. Friends.
I don't have advice for that.
Oh,
You could list something probably on your page, like, open to upon approval or something like that, maybe, I don't know.
I would, if you're pet friendly, you say, put it on your page everywhere. We are pet friendly. If you have allergies, we are probably not the place for you. Be very upfront.
But
It's
then
your market.
you.
Yes, but you're getting a lot more.
It,
Else-
there are,
Pets.
there are
So the
so
question
many
is,
no pet places that the people who are doing pets
They're
really
looking
do
for
have a
pets.
Rate
higher
it in.
thing. But they do have higher expenses, so they do have to
Yeah, they'll
charge
fork it
more.
out.
That's my managers. We've got a
People love
couple
their
properties
dogs.
that have pets,
Yeah.
not in my properties, but in
people,
their properties, and boy, they book.
they book,
They have a market,
What is the
but
pet
the
fee?
disasters have been awful. The cleanup is really bad.
And they clean up for what?
pets.
Huh?
Pet fees,
Oh,
whatever you
pets.
want it to be.
Pet fee,
That's up to you. If you talk to your
What do you
cleaner,
do
say,
for pet? What do you do for pets?
So
Probably
talk
need
to-
to
talk to your
cleaners,
cleaners.
see how much they charge to clean, to clean after dogs or cats or whatever pets.
And depending on.
how much would it cost to
And also-
sterilize it post pets?
I think one advice I would have if you're very worried about allergies is I think more people are allergic to cats and dogs. You can say
Right.
dog friendly and not pet friendly. And just put that as,
Oh, be really
dog
specific.
friendly, no cats allowed.
Right,
Because
and
he has a cat allergy and we stay in the house. So for us, I would think that that would be something we would put in, if we wanted to increase revenues, dog friendly, not, not just overall pet friendly.
And to add to that, in the house rules, when you say pet friendly, you can specify dogs, cats, or both.
No potbelly pigs or anything.
It says, so no, I honestly I don't know why it's done this way, but it says the options are cats, dogs, any type of pet.
Oh,
I think they're just trying to say cats or dogs, but the wording is horrible. The wording is horrible. It's like, it's like the whole plane thing,
So I had a question. I know you said, Verbo wouldn't honor, custom written owner agreements, but what if you had some type of pet agreement or something in the pet aspect?
listen, they're not, we can't enforce outside contracts. We just don't have the ability.
I would expect you to, yeah.
So now, can you enforce it because they signed it? That's between you, a lawyer, and them, so a lot of people do it. So, how many times have you had to enforce your contract and that worked for you? I don't know.
I just had to do it today.
And it works?
Goddamn right it did.
There you go. Have a pet contract.
Well, the Pep T engine too, I don't know what other people's experiences have been recently, but we get the queries once in a while with service animals or the comfort animals. Do you accept? And
No, our animal allergy trumps theirs because it's a disability. An allergy is a disability, but because my husband is highly allergic to dogs and cats,
right, but I believe that the law says if
then we
you,
can say no.
if it's your home that you use as well, but if it's a total independent of
We're
you
owners of
staying,
it. No, we can say no. You can say no in a short-term rental unless you have 4 or more units with it. That's where it crosses over. That's why hotels have to say yes. That's why others,
Oh.
you can say no, but the best thing that we do, I think, is I find all of the pet friendly houses around me that are nice houses, and I say, I'll send you a list. I send them the list of all of those pet friendly houses. That is my reasonable accommodation, which is the legal term for doing what I can do for these people with a need. And to help them find another property is, I think, very generous on our part and helpful. I don't think a judge would call us discriminatory or terrible because we have done what we can do, but we do need to protect our own.
Cause I thought that unless you stayed in the property yourself, but if you totally rented to third parties, then you had to honor the regulations with regard to that.
Well,
I know with
that's,
Airbnb,
They
they
say,
make
yeah.
you, they mandate, like they,
Because
their
we
rules
tell
are
people
per
initially,
federal regulation.
they say, well, it isn't per federal regulation. They use the misterm reasonable accommodations. Not reasonable accommodation. There's a legal difference in those terms. It's a bunch of baloney with what they're saying. You can say no. And I have talked to the head of the federal agencies that are, the heads, to ask them about it. I even called the Humane Society and all of these others. All of them say you can say no if you cannot reasonably accommodate their need. That's what we're expected to do. It's not reasonable for me to accommodate their need if it's going to make my husband sick, or one of our Make-A-Wish children that come to our home sick, or those things. I can say no to that because those disabilities override somebody's service need or
well, I understand that.
comfort need.
I thought when I looked into it that you had to be a person who stayed in the property, not if you owned property and were just
Because if
doing it as
my husband
rentals.
comes to that property after somebody's brought a dog in our place, no matter how hard we clean it, he could be sick by it. That is a disability, and that is something that we need to do. But by accommodating their need, by giving them, what is it called? Is it Alpo? What is that one? There is a .com that's a dog, like Airbnb for dogs, and some
Because,
Rover.com. Yeah, and some of
Because I
those,
think some
if
people
you
are just,
send them those things,
I think there's some
they
people who are just
usually-
using it though,
oh yeah,
because the
They're being
response that
on-
I've used in the past is, we have a strict no pet policy. The HOA has a no pet policy. However, we would comply with any federal or state regulation that requires, whatever, just as an out so that we're not discriminating,
Mhm.
but telling them upfront. And usually those people, you don't hear back from them
right.
because it
Yeah.
was just a ruse to begin with. Because they want to bring their pet, they want to say it's a service animal, whatever, but once you put that stronger language that, no, no, and no. But, we comply with all federal and state regulations that, would be applicable as an out for us to make sure that we're not gonna,
It could be, yeah.
get in trouble for anything. It seems that kind of,
But the federal and state regulations don't require us to have it. If we were a hotel, if we were a long-term rental where landlord-tenant law is involved, then we would perhaps have to do that. But for a short-term rental, we're under the hotel umbrella. The nice hotel umbrella, because we don't have 4 units. And if you read the code,
okay,
it's there, but yeah, but you've gotta, I would accommodate people's needs if I could. That's what we should do with reasonable accommodation. But sometimes you can't.
Right.
So be nice about it and let them know you care. Send them a list of properties and they'll usually not, they'll be like, thank you, and leave rather than.
You can also ask for papers too. I mean, I know some people, you
Oh,
can
the
order,
paper
you can
trails.
order, big documents online, but a lot of times the ones who are just saying that they're emotional support animals, or whatever the case, they don't have
Yeah, that could
that
raise them up a little bit.
documentation.
Say,
And they'll
Yeah.
disappear. They won't even respond to you.
That's good.
Are there stats on pets?
I allowed what was called a service dog one time. I broke my own rules and allowed it, and it was a disaster. It was not a service dog,
Yeah.
and I went to knock on the door
Very welcome.
to introduce myself, just to say hello, and the dog was scratching, you could hear me knocking, the dog was scratching on the door.
That's not a service.
No, of course not. And of course, it they left a mess and
Absolutely.
never again. I
Yeah.
learned my lesson.
Yeah, Jim, you've had to deal with some of those. haven't you?
Not really.
Right.
Barb's pretty
You
good
scare
at
'em?
getting rid of them.
Well, oh, she's good.
Oh, yeah.
I take pets all the time. I don't have an issue. It's usually the kids. I can always tell when kids are there, not pets usually. Usually pretty good.
Kids can be.
So every window in the building's got handprints on it.
Exactly.
And of course, everybody, when they inquire, everybody's dog is always well behaved.
Yes,
Oh,
of course.
And we have a well-behaved
Oh, goodness.
Great Dane.
As
we're
far as
bringing
the
in.
SEO sites, are there any recommendations or suggestions when it comes to that? Obviously, you have like Great Breeds and a couple of other sites that offer services to assist.
I don't know, a single one. I don't deal with it at all.
Gotcha.
Sorry. I wish I did.
Okay. Well, you're looking at
I don't have anything on pets.
Okay. fair enough.
That is something I definitely, oh, you know what? I know why it's not going. What's the Wi-Fi?
Oh.
Is that it behind? Good.
There, yeah.
Oh, I think it's in that book, right
The
there,
binder.
first page.
Mike, can you give him the password?
I got it.
Okay. Sorry, good.
Yep.
You were right there. Hey, Mike, I'll
That
take
is
it out.
the one that wasn't working. I couldn't even get on.
Yeah, everybody please have some food. With that.
By the way, I'm very sorry. Julie asked me to go 20 minutes and I went for an hour and a half.
Oh.
I think it was us that were.
We were extremely communicating.
We were back.
No, but
Yes.
thank you for sharing the information.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thank you.
Do you have any numbers on percentages of people that book for like 30 days or longer?
Well, it's like I need my, to access stuff, I need to verify myself. I need a code.
Technology.
Mail on the other day.
Oh.
Las Vegas market.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where distribution is.
Jim, I
That's
don't
a
get
good
your monthly
question.
mailers.
Huh?
What's that?
I don't get your monthly
Well,
mailers.
I need, I wanna list mine, but you know.
I didn't know Mike was on either.
Mhm.
Guess with the real market, I'm thinking.
So for people that are booking for 30 days or longer, do you have any like percentage of people, like
The
how many?
longer Stays, the 31 plus days
Yes.
here, but.
Yeah, and is there a way of making it visible? Like, is there a certain section for it?
Should I unzoom these people? Are we done or what are we doing?
Hey, guys, do you have any questions from Zoom? If you want to undo your microphone and, or, do you have any questions
30
for him?
days is 1.4%.
No, thank you. Everything is very informative. I am relatively new to this, so I'm learning a lot. So I really appreciate this meeting. Thank you. This is Sandra, by the way.
And we should make sure everybody to either sign in here with your information or send your information to Essie at the info@nevadavrp.com. Because we are kind of starting out fresh again with our membership role now that we have a year of moratorium on dues. So it's free for a year to be a member, but you do need to fill out some forms so that we know about you and we can send you updates and at least first and last name, phone number, and email we need from you. If you want to add any more information, you can, but that's the essentials, right, Essie?
That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Alrighty.
Julie. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
see you
you.
later.
Bye.
Any questions, JB?
No, Julie, I wanted to tell you that Steve formed a partnership with Rent Responsibly.
Oh,
So
good.
no, I don't know all the details yet. When I get it, I'll let you know.
Well, that's, I wondered if he was going to because of the summit, but yeah. Well, good, yeah, and I'm still, hopefully I can connect with him.
Yeah, I'll speak to him again this week.
Good, all right.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.